Hello and welcome to Stories That Shape Us. Stories that remind us that God is real, He is to be trusted, and He's still in the business of restoring lives. I'm your host, Fresh Nganga, and this is Restored TV 254, a home of restoration. And with me, I'm having an amazing guest, a guest who is a testimony actually that God is real, that God is faithful, and that His grace is sufficient, and He's a testimony that God is to be trusted. Help me in welcoming Apostle Francis Kangangi.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
It's
for
an
having
honor.
me here.
It's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to know, how are you doing and how is Kenya treating you?
I'm doing okay. It's
Yes.
well. It's a little bit chilly here, not as cold as some of us feel cold. Sometimes our winter temperatures go to negative 20.
Yeah.
And hear people screaming when it's like 15, 20 here. So it's not very cold for me, but it's good. This home, being brought up here. So I love this place. Yes, I'm excited to be in this place for a while.
Yes.
Yes.
It's an honor to have you. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
Restored TV 254 is glad to have you with us. Maybe to start us off, we would like to know, who is Apostle Kangangi?
Good question. My name is Apostle Francis Kangangi. I was born and raised up in Kirinyaga by Minister Reverend Kangangi, who was minister in Anglican Church, and studied my in Kirinyaga in Nyeri, Moin, and Doret. And then I got married, and we have 2 children. I'm married to Sarah from Kitale. We have a son and a daughter. My son is 23, working with the National Guard, that is in the U.S. Army. My daughter is 17, aspiring to become an anesthesiologist as a doctor. And we moved from Kenya. I lived in Kenya until 2009. That's when we shifted to US. First I lived in Boston briefly, then in Baltimore. Then we shifted to Atlanta, where we are based. And we raised up a church by grace of God. 2018, 7 years, called Zoe Global Ministry. That's where I serve as the lead pastor. And God has blessed us. So we work, we live, we study, and we do our things mainly in Atlanta, Georgia. But Kenya is home.
Wow.
That's what I would say.
It's good to know that you grew up way up country and now you're here. It's an encouragement to some of us. Yes. And what are your best memories growing up?
Growing up, one of the greatest things that I do recall as a great memory is I would say is the actual life of growing up in that Harvard setting. When I meet my brothers and my sisters and we start those stories, how I would carry coffee, no shoes, shorts, not showering for days and all that. Painful memories, but they bring laughter today. Because today we choose which dress or clothes to wear. Those days we didn't have a choice. And so those are like the best of the memories to me. Whenever we meet and laugh and, reflecting back from where we were to where we are, it's such an amazing thing to see the hand of God through this all. Yes.
Wow. I'm wondering, Apostle, what are some of the things I've heard you mention that you're brought up by a reverend. Your dad was a servant of God, and here you are a servant of God. And how was it being brought up by a reverend, and how did that shape you?
It did. I would say this. Couple of things. Number one, my dad was very prayerful. There's a couple of things that I need to mention. When somebody is very focused on the Christian life like my dad was, the prayers, the word of God and all that, first they create an atmosphere within the house and the family setting. And so we grew up knowing that my day was Thursday for prayer. So even when I would go where I did do whatever I wanted to do, still ring, because during my formation stage, those are critical information that was placed within my CPU of my mind, so that I could now mention or do things in alignment to how I was raised up.
Yeah.
So it created an atmosphere whereby bad words, shouting, yelling, those things were an honor in my family. And that is, I carried along with it to this very day, shaped me so well. And secondly, discipline. Dad was a disciplinarian, so to say. And so my brother is like one who's an engineer and another one who's been in the military. And they said for me how to be very strict when it comes to time and to be focused on the things that you really want to achieve. Because we are in a world whereby people are so distracted. A lot of imagery, world, noise, voice, everything, pleasures and all. And only people who are focused will succeed. You just get one line and focus on it. Just like in the world of marketing, world of manufacturing. I live in America, and if Facebook, focus on Facebook, that's it. It's a focus. It doesn't do steel, whatever work, construction, it's just a focus. So they trained me how to stay focused on one item or two items and to make sure that I follow it to the very end. They shift, it's kind of configured the or wiring of the way I think and caused me to pursue success with all diligence. So discipline and order. And that the last that I may mention is that godly life. I grew up seeing all ministers coming to my house, Sunday school, and all those things were first priority to us. And so even when I wasn't really born again, I still knew my mind was still pulling me there, and my dad kept on not pushing me, but encouraging me to be born again. And finally, I gave my life to Christ. That's how my basic, life kind of helped me to become a Christian person as I am today.
Wow, that is a challenge to people out there, our viewers out there, that upbringing is very key. If I hear you correctly, it's very key in shaping a child's life and who they'll become later in future.
It's very important, if I may rewind that again.
Yes.
The way you talk to kids, especially for those viewers, the way you speak to them, they will watch your priorities. They see where you go. What do you buy? What do you put in your fridge? What chemicals do you consume? Whatever places you visit with them. It shapes their, because they're in their formation stage. And it does what computers people say configuring. There is a configuration you place in their mind, their memory. It's like in a processor. And so even in future, they will be processing information determined by the foundation that you placed in them. So parents, especially, what you do today, how you speak to your kids, how you relate if you're a couple of man and wife, or how you also relate with other people, especially the clusters of your family members, the kids watch. And they don't only listen, they watch. They want to see how we do our things. And we can tell them, don't do this, and we are doing it. They absolutely will copy. And so it's very critical to know how to raise up kids in the values that you honor. Yes.
Wow. So growing up for you, you saw mentors in your parents. You saw people who are telling you this is the direction, and they're actually following the direction that they're leading you.
Yes, I did. And if I may mention, especially two of them that, besides my mom and dad, that helped me, shape me up to become very focused, is that our eldest brother is called a major, he's retired major in army, and another brother who's an engineer, and another one who's a public health. And these three brothers were very critical in my life. My sisters also, but they were so hard on me. But they were like mentors. I would visit Kenyatta University. These are the days whereby there were only two universities in Kenya, Nairobi and KU. And later I would visit my brother in India, and I would love that university kind of life. The studies, there was boom, the kind of life that they were living, the studies were doing, and then they are earning when they got to the employment. It shaped me up to desire more of that. But they kept telling me to get that one, got to have a disciplined life and a focused life. And so there were things that they kept on telling me. This you have to put aside, but you got to be focused on this. And it helped to discipline me and constrain and restrain me to focus on what was necessary to pay a price to go up. Yes.
Wow. I've heard you also mention that your dad was a disciplinarian. You can share with us light moments of how what you remember, some of the things you remember you are disciplined in.
Actually, one I remember is with my mom. When you mentioned that, mom, I think was tougher than my dad. They both rested my best family people in my life. One day, my mom left us at our home in the morning on a Sunday. We had just come from Sunday school, and she told us to take care of Githeri, if I may call it that one. Okay, you said it's a light moment.
Yes, it's a light moment.
So she told me, make sure that you put fire on it and add water until it's done.
Yes.
And then she went. I knew my mom would come in the evening.
Yes.
But lucky enough, she came at around 1. And we were just playing around with my brother, my twin brother, and my sister. And then she comes home. And my mom was almost screaming and said, Francis, come back. And so I knew I'm in trouble. To get there, all the foodstuffs had spilled over, and the fire was gone. Chicken were everywhere.
You had forgotten the duty.
I don't want to say what happened after that, but it wasn't very pleasant.
You can only imagine what happened.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And Apostle, being brought up as a reverend son, then and now, there seemed to be a major shift. Because I've heard you mention that you found God for yourself. Your dad encouraged you, but you found God for yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes you come around pastors' kids, you come around reverends' children, and maybe there's a way the parents are pinning it down or pushing it down their throat, and it's really hard for them. How was your dad encouraging you vis-a-vis how being domineering?
Yes, that's very, very important, especially for ministers. If a minister is not careful, they will lose their children trying to press them to be like them. And I knew this by grace of God. I found Christ. When I was even away from parents, that was in Moi. It's what is called the Eldoret University today. I'm actually the one who called the CU members to pray for me. They didn't even preach to me. I felt the conviction was so high, I needed to change my life completely. Now, my dad was soft in terms of just encouraging me, and what you do is to compare two things. See the life of those who didn't know Christ, and see the life of those who know God. And then would say, see, if I may mention this, see how alcoholism is leading people away. See all those that are in promiscuous activities, how they end up in sickness, disease, and death. And now they keep on telling me, now make a good choice when you are young, so that you can build up your family, your marriage, your children on the same. And by grace of God, I carried the same to my family. My son is 23, he's in National Guard, that is the military, and my daughter is 17, aspiring to be a doctor. And we go to church, and we do Bible study, we do prayers, but I'm careful. I always talk to my wife. We don't fully press them to go to church. We find time, two things. We find time for them. There are time for that I got to stay with my kids, because I don't want them to see like I'm married in the church. That has been a little bit of a struggle for me initially, because me, I love God, I can do everything in church and all that. But I specifically have to get time for my daughter, my time specifically for my son. We go out, my son go out with my daughter. We go as a family.
Yeah.
So I create time for them. And I want to tell ministers, please, there is family and there is the family of Christ.
Yeah.
Create family time for wives, for those married, and for kids, in case God has blessed you with that.
Yeah.
And secondly, encourage and help them to see the light of the gospel. Don't force them. There is some time, like once, my son has told me, I really don't want to go to church today of ABCD. And I don't shout and yell. I tell him, make sure that by the Sunday you prepare, compose yourself and come. And that's how it is. It's supposed to be that you want the people to give a decision, to make it as a decision, to give their life all to serve God. Because when you press them, they will obey you because of the respect and honor. The moment they are out of that door, they'll go back to their lives. So I try the best to show the importance of people being born again and serving God, rather than just pressing them and shouting and yelling on them to do like the way you do it.
Yeah.
But you let them make their decision. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. Apostle, if I hear you correctly, upbringing is very key. And at this time and age, many of the ministers' families, they are suffering. The children are bitter and angry with their parents. I'm wondering, how was it for you that you did not become bitter? And now that you've mentioned you're a servant of God, how do you do it that also you have time for your family and those that are important to you?
That's very important. I would say this. God has a family, which is the church, and it's a relationship. And God loved the church so much that he intends for us to be very close to Him. But it's for our wisdom to strike a balance on how to be time we spend with God and time we spend with the family. One of the worst things a minister can do, not the only but one, is to kind of put aside your family for the sake of Christ. In terms that you focus so much on the members, the leadership, the construction, the ministry, evangelism, missionary, and forget about wife or husband in case you married, or children, or even brothers and sisters. I remember one time, I think it was a wake-up call on me when my wife was expectant, like 8 months with my son, and I left her to go for a night vigil. And she developed some complication at night when I was in prayer. And that moment is when I came back, I felt so bad on myself, and I felt this is not right. Yes, I need to pray, no question about that, but I need to plan myself properly, not to leave her at night when she needs me. And this changed the whole setting on how we view, because ministers are tempted to spend so much on the call at the expense of their sons and daughters. So personally, like when you ask me about my own personal experience, I create time for my wife, specifically for her. No son, no daughter, no people, for her. Either we do things together in the house, or we go out, or we travel, or we eat together, whatever it is. I create time specifically for my son, that we can go out with him alone. That's me and him. Or and then my daughter also. And then create for them all. So there are times we eat together, there are times we play, and I try to do this one on a weekly basis. I have not perfected it, but that's how it's supposed to be. The rest of the time now I can go to church and spend a whole day and do all that. But the time for my children, whereby you sit down and listen and hear them. And when I fly back to Kenya, like last week, I had about 3 invitations to minister in churches. I didn't, because that's the day I had set to stay with my brothers and sisters. So I had them for 48 hours. So for 2 full days, staying with my brothers and sisters. It's very important, because you don't want people to just get born again and hate the ministry because of just, pumping them with only things in the church.
Yeah.
Life is not just living in the church.
Mm-hmm.
We live in the marketplaces.
Yeah.
And they can be believers without necessarily being ministers. They can go and change the world where God has sent them as engineers, as doctors and such. And they need to know this. So it's an issue of balancing and making sure that we have time, not just time, but adequate and ample time, specifically or exclusively for our family. Very important.
Wow, wow. And if I hear you correctly, Apostle, you're saying that balance is key. And you saw that growing up, and you're also passing that down to your own family.
Yes, it is a key. Even in the ministry. In the ministry, what you need, we also, what I would suggest, I sit down and organize, even within the ministry itself. How much time do I spend with God? Because you can be tempted to spend all time with people and not time with God. And they will drain you, yet you need refilling. That's how ministries don't grow, because they can only grow to the levels of their minister. So if you don't spend time with God, spend all time with our people, you only give them what you have, but you need to refill. So I know the time that I need to spend with God, time with the leaders, time with the members, and the time, of course, for other activities and essentials that are in the ministry. And then, of course, I work, right? I have family, and that causes me, of course, to constrain too much of my resting time. So usually when I fly to Kenya, like now, I count it almost like a vacation, though I was also working for the ministry, because it's important also. Many people also get burnout because of doing too much without checking their health. And it's also not very good. It's important also to check your health and how much time you're spending on what, that you can be able to balance your life. We need this body for now. When we go to heaven, God will give us new bodies. But for now, this body is what is carrying the soul and the spirit. So you need it. So you need also to go to the doctors for checkup and see what is not working well. Yeah, very important. Yeah, we cannot just say we live on prayer alone. Yes, we honor that. We appreciate that. We pray for people for healing. But I'll give you one quick example of Hezekiah. He went before God after being told by God that you will die. Prepare, put your house together. But what did Hezekiah do? He went back to God in prayer, cried to God, and then Isaiah, very accurate, special prophet, was sent back to him. And he was told, what was he told? I had you 15 years, but do what? Go get a specific antibiotic on that boil. So medical, to me, it's kind of a supplement of what we do in the house of God. So it's important to understand these things. If God can tell you to go and get specific fix, which was like an antibiotic to the boil that he was suffering from, it is a kind of stamping that I'm the one who has given people wisdom and knowledge on medicine and can be the way that can be used for the healing of people. Balancing is very important. That was, I would say.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. And it's you're a testament of balance. Really, you get to balance life, family. Also mentioned that you're also working, and I would say you're a perfect example to really learn from.
Thank you.
Yes, and you mentioned that you found God for yourself later, though you've been brought up in church.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Being born again is a personal decision. And even though raised up in the Sunday school and the youth and all that, of course we were singing and shouting and screaming, Jesus is the Lord. But knowing him on a personal basis, it's a decision I knew one day I would make. And I think God caught up with me when I was in second year. And the conviction was so high. I remember on last Saturday, I was planning to go on a showground. Remember the days of show?
Yes.
We were with some other friends from the high school in college. And when we went, I felt a lot of funny pain in my stomach. I had to go back. I did not go to the show. And I had like a very bad paying for a whole day. So on Sunday, it's like God was, and I took a small Bible that we were being given, the Gideon kind, and I started to read the book of St. Luke. I read it like all night. I didn't have sleep. The following day, I went to church. And after the service, they invited people to be born again. I did not. But after service in the afternoon, I looked up. I couldn't stand the conviction. It was like fire in me. That's how I got some people to pray for me. And this changed my life altogether, knowing God on a personal basis. So the family could bring an atmosphere of worship, of prayer, and all that. But trust me, decisions to follow Christ got to be made on a personal basis. Yes.
Wow. Thank you for that. And Apostle, you've mentioned that you found God for yourself. Now you're an apostle, but you got born again not as an apostle. And there is someone who is wondering, I've given my life to Christ, and I feel I've been called to be a pastor or an evangelist or a teacher of the word even. And they're wondering, what do I do? Maybe you can walk us through the journey of how you now walk with God from the moment you've given your life to Christ to where you are now.
Okay, those two issues I sought in terms of how my own experience and what the counsel I can give to others.
Yes.
After being born again, what I did when I went home, I love young people so much. It was in Anglican church setting, so I joined the youth. And in those days, they would see you like you are the peer, you're the higher than them. Most of them are from in secondary and you're in college. And so I had to do everything to prove my position. And so I started to organize youth conferences, youth leadership conferences and all that. We organized crusades with what was called the GET, Kenya Evangelical Team, with other students from other universities, and what is called the Focus. Hope is still there in Kenya. That organized ministers within the fraternity of the universities and tertiary colleges. So I connected with all those for my growth. Because when you get born again, that's not it. It's it's a journey. You have been born. It's just like a kid has to grow up. And you don't grow up by yourself. You need breast milk. You need to connect. You need to be told which way to follow. And that's a problem that the people make when they get born again. They feel the fire. They just want to rush the ministry. You don't do that. You'll be frustrated. It's a battlefield. You'll be shot and wounded and blame people. So you need others to hold your hands. You need to connect with the mentors, the people who know more than you do, so that they can tell you and show you how to grow and how to, the experiences of growth in the Christian setting. That's what I did. And so by the time I was leaving this country, I had helped like an assistant pastor, not officially. I wasn't ordained, but I helped my pastor in Elbagon for 10 years.
Wow.
And so through that, I got a lot of experiences and wisdom in terms of how you relate with couples, marriage, women's meeting and all that, constructions, finances of the church, administrations of intercessory group and worship and all that. And it was continuing to prepare me. And so when I got to US, I also served as a bishop for another 7 years.
Wow.
As a leader in worship, leader in intercession, in various capacities. But I was now ordained as an elder. It was then that I got connected on 2014 with Dr. C.D. Trim.
Yes.
And in a very mysterious way, I was going through my notes and there's some things I was doing on physics. And so I Googled atomic, some things on atomic. Instead of the science, it popped up atomic prayer. And I decided to listen. And I felt I've never had that. Tears were flowing on my eyes. I never felt such a prayer. And I got connected. And at that critical time, she was just moving from Chicago, where she used to live, and came to Atlanta. So I was able to figure out their offices and that, got connected, and they absorbed me in their college, studied for 3 years. And on 2016 is when, that's when I finished. In 2017, I graduated. and it's called Kingdom School of Ministry.
Yeah.
And I was ordained there by Dr. Side Trim and Pastor Ryan. And 2018, I enjoyed the ministry. God called me now go and rise up a ministry. So we've been there for 7 years. Yes, that's how I've grown. So I would encourage people who after they're born again, find mentors. Don't just jump as a lead minister. Serve other. The kingdom of God has structures. Right? There will always be somebody ahead of you. And these are very important for administration. Right? Just like the government has a president, has all that, there is a structure, there's a hierarchy that God has established because God is God of order. And so what you do, you identify people who have the values of the Christian life like you want. And be very careful with the authors. Because authors are very defiled towards the very end because of the false prophets and the spirits of Antichrist. Those two spirits are being promoted towards the end of the days before Christ comes. And so once you identify people who have the values and the character and an author that transmit the love of Christ and you feel the connection, then serve under for a while. As you serve, God directs people in the walk, not just when you're sleeping, step by step as you serve. And God will always test you, your faithfulness in the service. If you cannot serve under somebody, it will be so hard for anybody to serve under you. It's a mechanism that you cannot change.
Wow, I'm loving the wisdom that is being passed down to us by the servant of God who has walked the path that some of us are walking. We'll be right back after the break. Don't touch that dial.